thoughts?
Well, for the record, I don't align myself with anybody that aligns himself with BK. I don't agree with making troll accounts saying Summer Wells is in my barn in Kentucky and, the stuff BK's been up to lately.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's always got fake accounts and all. I mean, and everybody's everything, and he's got trolls that work for. I mean, look at all his. I mean, it's like any of your chats will even do that, right? Members and things, they do the whole. Well, I'm gonna go change clothes and go troll whoever my creator, doesn't like, and they do that. Plus, then you got like the gamers on it, and it is very much truth that I'm talking about, chasing truth.
So I guess they want me to ask you about some man that you saw that creeped you out and why law enforcement didn't follow up on that. I don't know how they know they didn't follow up on it, but
I don't know everything that lawmaker, but I don't know. Like, I mean, you tell them about these things, they ask these things, they get these things from you. What they do with it after that is up to them. So I cannot tell you whether they did or did not follow up on it, or what they did with it, or if they found the person. Uh, there was one or two we thought could be the person and the truck, and we dresses and everything into Ellie as well. And that, I mean, there were other things with that, and this was not the red truck. This was just another red truck, right? I don't other things with that, and this was not the red truck. This was just another red truck, right? I know who's seen the red truck that was reported, but none of us know exactly which red truck's the truck. I know the truck I was seeing did not have a ladder rack on it or white buckets in it. I know that other red trucks that were coming and going did. The person that reported the red truck with the ladder rack and white buckets is like a postal type employee, right? Delivery person. And whether it was there the 14th or 15th is anybody's speculation, because rumors of a red truck started right after summer, vanished cops running the rumors in the roadway that night. It was already, the whispers were already about a red truck prior to it being fully outed days later, all these things. So, I mean, what Ellie did with any of that, I don't. That other red truck that eventually put, a ladder rack on it or white bucket, who the hell knows? But what they've done or have not done, I mean, I'm not them, man. I don't know what they have or haven't done. You know what I mean? I know
yeah.
some, you know what I'm saying? I'm not FBI, I'm not Ellie.
If she recalls seeing a U-Haul truck on Ben Hill Road prior to Summer being reported missing.
No.
Okay. Well, is there anything else that you want to address or say, Joe?
There are a million things, but I would just like everybody to, if you care about these cases, the victims, survivors, spiders, their families, community, you really care about the real crime and the predators. I understand this place is also for entertainment, but please do be aware that it does get up to real life things with everyone around these cases, and they do cause real harm in everyone's lives, including those who have no real connection to other than living there, or going to church with, or seeing somebody one time and they are very much a lot of them. They are very much a lot of them criminals, um, cons. I mean, there's some willing to go far enough to cause us extreme risk, danger, try to push us off like hypothetical cliffs, to probably try to tell me I named it after something. It goes badly around here.
Yeah, it'll be the next rumor in Tragedy Pentville, huh?
Oh yeah, it'll be something tonight that this woolly worm is whatever. Watch and see. Somebody will make a whole damn live on this woolly worm, guys. Whole damn live. It'll be a week's worth of drama. It'll be something. Coffee, wings, margarita, whatever. Do give a
I'm
shout.
down. I cashed up you my phone number. Did you get it?
I didn't not
You should
cash.
check it. Yeah, I cashed up you just to try to get a hold of you, but I sent you my phone number through Cash App
Well, I've not checked that either.
because your Facebook is private. So
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've not checked. And thing hangs out and gathers dust anyway. But yeah, I hadn't checked it, but I will check it. And
well, you
but
got
yeah,
a way to get in touch with me.
you're pretty close to me, so if you want to, you and the fiance, let's make that clear so they can't make a live with that.
Yes, me and Smoky Mountain Mama will meet you for coffee. Sure.
Yeah. So if y'all want to do that, do shout.
Yep, or my email's in my about section, so you can get a hold of me that way as well.
Okay. All right
Yeah,
then.
Bama says I have a whole new respect for Jody after this interview wrap. So hopefully we brought light to that.
And
That's
if
what my
ever
main purpose was.
you're welcome, I mean, I know the whole BK history. I know there's connections everywhere. And by the way, don't let them say sorry because you know how I am. I do have a tendency to go visit once or, in pursuit of hunting down further tragedy pit members, right? Let's be
Hmm.
honest. But I just honest. But I just want to make it clear that I don't have ulterior motives where it concerns you, and I'm not here to hunt you or any of that. Just here because it simply is something BK would not like. And I don't like his fingers in the interview with Ernie though the other day. But it's weird how I asked and made sure to drop Ernie's name for I don't for I don't know, 5, 6 days in a row, and then they finally coughed Ernie up all of a sudden. But anyway, all I'm saying is no ulterior motives other than BK can kiss my ass. And you know how they do that whole the enemies of my
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, so now
I
whatever. It
don't.
might be tasting food. I'm sure he's restreaming this, doing whatever.
Oh, you already
Right.
know he's been on it. He was saying he was going to interview Andy tonight, but I don't think that happened.
But
He was just trying to scare you away from our interview.
I've not paid attention to him, and I know they think I watch him all the time, but I really don't.
Well, good. I wouldn't recommend watching him at all,
Yeah,
anyways.
they- They've already brought out an abuser to abuse me and my children who are survivors and still not out of the abuse like you all think. Y'all think for a year plus I've been clear, been healed, but we've still very much been kept in a box and eyes on and an abuser in our fucking life. The things that have taken place in lives, like clothing being worn and shit, is scary, especially if you know anything about true fucking abusers and that type of narcopath.
Hmm.
And concerning it is. All
He's
right.
a self-admitted one.
And what Tragedy Pimp Bill's doing to help do that and to terrify my little and to harm us further is fucking horrifying.
I know. I can't imagine what you're going through.
And I'm just gonna one thing I would like to clear up. I never once, because I know what the hell they did over here in that swatting call and all this. I can tell you I have a my son left behind things, but I had immediate proof, and like you all heard on my video a couple days ago, that's titled "Nope Rope" and Witness Testimonial. You can one of the other women that helped Chroma and Gap, and everybody build that database and everything. We're friends with them for a decade. Tell you that they were on the phone with myself and my little. Nobody was telling my little to harm herself. My little was fine. They also have proof, and they have heard the proof from my son's own mouth saying he never once said that shit. Like Chromonym and all them made you believe that it came from. Nobody ever. That was a
Hmm.
bullshit lead up to whatever. There were conversations the night before between I and others about how dangers of abusers near her were a problem. But then somehow that got twisted, and then as you can see, Lips and TM and on put it out like abusers are concerned, and that they're the ones asking them to put out all that stuff and that narrative, and that led to the false swatting call here. But I have absolute proof, and others have heard it, that that was never said to my daughter hours that day, and everybody was fine here. And so I just want to make that clear that this whole tragedy Pintville and Chroma and all them and TM and all them, um, you all were lied to, and it was part of furthering of abuse of us. And TM and all them, um, you all were lied to, and it was part of furthering of abuse of us and targeting by many abusers for many reasons. And we have absolute proof that nothing like that was ever said to my daughter by myself or anyone.
Wow. Okay, and he would always talk to me on the phone every day and brag about how much money he makes and how it pays his fizzle's mortgage and
Because
this
her
and
husband,
that.
well, I guess the lawnmower business, especially in fall when she keeps targeting us the most, like she helped procure us last year for TM&M at the same time period. This year she's really setting into because the hubby's lawn care business don't it goes down to her and falls harder to pay the bills. She don't care to destroy our lives or fuck with us or try as long as it means she gets to feed and BK's channels don't get taken it because they're in her damn name. And
Yep.
I've been aware of that for a very long time.
Yep, it
So
sure is.
I guess if she don't have to go back to breeding, biting ass dogs in a house with children, um, as long as it means she gets to feed and BK's channels don't get taken it because they're in her damn name. And
Yep.
I've been aware of that for a very long time.
Yep, it
So,
sure is.
I guess if she don't have to go back to breeding, biting ass dogs in a house with children, um, and she can do this instead and also get back at me for the fundraiser shit and calling her ass out and everybody else's and making them look like total asses in Discord when I turned it over to feds as soon as she kept trying to make me believe the fake Fed was real that they had the Stacey Slay character that BK did a video on the other night. He's like, that BK did a video on the other night. He's like, how many? Three like strikes, Jody Sue. You got this fake Fed, fake McDonough. Look, McDonough has confirmed, and I've shown the receipts that Fizzle and them did have a fake McDonough in Discord. It was not the real McDonough. I've shown her receipts for that from
Hmm.
McDonough. All right. They really were pretending to be McDonough. They really did have a fake federal agent trying to pretend that they were, real to me, making me believe it. I was like, fuck no. I turned it into the actual FBI, and then I fucked with them the entire way through that Discord, so it's garbage. And then, they had Chase pretending he had fake off-duty cops, that were stalking us. It was all kinds of have seen and heard BK, Fizz, all them admit to this. Fizz, Scott, the whole nine, very early on did a panel called Listen When they're one of those that finally admitted that, yeah, they did make up the fake federal agent. On another recent that Enchanted Life Path has, was the hot mic moment. Remember, here a while back with the Amanda call, all that stuff with BK, Fizz, Scott, and all
Right.
admit again picking up the Stacey Slay fake Fed agent. So for BK to make that video, yesterday, not before, saying, "Oh yeah, Jody Sue's crazy. How many fake all this is going to happen?" Well, you've heard him admit to it. You've seen the receipts, or at least if you want to go back and look at my videos and things, they're there. McDonough himself said that was a fake fucking account Penny and him had put in that Discord.
Wow. That
Penny and
doesn't.
him had put in that Discord.
Wow. That
Penny
doesn't
and they
surprise me.
they're also telling Tiffany was telling 423 Chase he was working for McDonough and stalking us and pretending to have the cops around and everything else. His undercover buddies, which are actually stalkers that also have now gotten a hold of me, didn't even realize what they're being used for by Chase. But Tiffany had Chase believing he was working for McDonough and was to be stalking us and watching us. And I've shown the receipts for that.
Wow.
So
That
yeah,
doesn't surprise me, Jody.
these are not good people. And then they get up to some real fuckery in our lives.
So yeah, I can't imagine what all you've went through with everything. And we got somebody in the chat right here. We got somebody in the chat right here. She goes by MAGA Country, but BK called CPS on her, for no reason. I mean, that's just what he does.
He has everybody. I mean, he uses everybody. The other day, he was threatening to call my fucking oncologist, man. And they've already pretended to call here, being doctors to try to get my health information. They have hacked into accounts. So I'm a doctor's and else are stopping, putting everything in there. We're removing other stuff. And now he's threatening to call my oncologist because I'm having a beer the other day. I'm allowed to drink if I'd like, thanks. And then I have like bone marrow, regular blood work, regular urine test. Like, this is, you know, you go to an oncologist and you literally have to sign a paper here that if they find anything else in your system, anything, you are literally discontinued from cancer care. This is not a joke. And you take my blood and urine continually. I mean, I can show for years that there's never been anything else in my system. But he's going to go around with somebody's cancer care, y'all. Who the hell is this? That, like, y'all tell me that ain't special type funky.
Right.
Yeah, that's not cool. And if he starts going to level, and I've already notified my oncologist and everything, they start getting calls again in, they need the catalog numbers, all sorts of stuff too, because we've already had screwball stuff happen with the public and these tragedy pimps and all. Um, but that since he threatened that in the past night or two, that since that last fake swap with the car thing and the supposed drinking and where, and so like really, who in the hell tries to mess with somebody's cancer care? That's insane.
So we'll get back to Summer real fast. But how would you describe Summer? I mean, So we'll get back to Summer real fast. But how would you describe Summer? I mean, you've met her, you've been around her, you watched her, you babysit her. How would you describe her?
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I was closer to the boys, um, but Summer I would describe her as fire but shy, and yeah, you can't put like a 35-year-old's all those personality traits to a little one, but um, very, but um, very much a daddy's girl. Whoever Dawn was, she was happy. Uh, Also a little moody.
Mhm.
And people are like, "You called her a brat this one time, yeah." But she was a little one. She was a girl, and she was very much in a way spoiled for them. You know what I mean? And she very much had Dawn wrapped around her finger. She knew it.
Right. Now you said you were closer to the boy. Which boy? Is there a certain boy you're closer to, or?
No, I mean all the boys. Just because I mean we'd spent like we'd all been there all that time together. Summer was the youngest. The
Mhm.
boys much longer had more, like contact because they, if they needed something, the boys would usually run back and forth. Like, say if one of us needed a roll of toilet paper, one needed a cigarette, we'd have the other one take it across the hill. And so there's more contact there. And the boys were older to where, they could communicate better. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
interact with levels. So there was a lot more communication interaction with the boys. So therefore a little bit closer. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
mean I do.
Definitely.
I miss their voices. It's always, "Hey, Jody Sue," and always so excited. And I very much do miss them, and I worry about them, and I hope they're okay. And I know they miss Summer as well. I know it was weighing on all of them. I know they feel it. I know home, it's their parents, it's their sister. no matter what the public thing, that's all they knew. And um, the whole world changed for them too. And I know that they seek answers as well. I mean, they're in there, and things, and we interactions. I watched them. They were trying to think of what could have happened to her as well, and excited when they think about something like, well, what about this possibility or what, and hoping maybe they could help too.
So would Candace ask you for cigarettes and the kids would bring them over, or would you ask for cigarettes and the kids would bring them over? How'd that work out?
Well, I mean, like if what you get what I'm saying, it's just like an analogy, like toilet paper, things like that. If it was hay, whatever, then we'd
Mhm.
have to run back and forth. The girls never went back and forth, but the boys did, the older, and so it was like, but yes,
Right.
it was interaction.
Tell you really loved the Welsh children, you know. It seemed like you took good care of it when they were when you were in charge of them.
I mean, it's like people yell at us and scream, "Why didn't you do this? And why didn't you?" I mean, DCS is already involved. They're always involved. What the fuck else what else can you do, man? And you keep seeing them say, "Well, everything's okay," and a lot of the things are very much different masks worn for different people, even between Monster and I. Like he knew of abuse occurring and things that did not say a word, and he told me in the last days that the reason he didn't speak up was so I wouldn't start shit because he knew I
Mhm.
was, worrying and wondering about things prior to Utah and things, and could have very much done preemptively say, but you know, but that was further part of
So, what are your thoughts of Dawn getting out? What do you think's going to happen?
get out, and he'll either I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
You think he'll be back all over YouTube?
That's going to be his choice. But as you can see, the letters he wrote, he does mention YouTube and how they don't know if their family's going to survive it or not. You know,
Yeah. Mhm.
and I think he was very much prior to going to jail, stay away from here, and they would try to trigger him or pull him back in or manipulate and gaslight him into doing that by attacking his church family and loved ones things. And you've seen him pop up a few times and say a few things, but I don't know if he'll be back or not. It's his choice and who he wants to talk to. He's a big boy. He'll make up his own mind.
Right.
Um, I think that they need to find a way to be a voice for Summer, whether the public likes it or not. They need to um, find a way to be a voice for her. They're her parents, you know. And I think it was
Mhm.
they could speak in a way that wasn't made into Jerry Springer.
Right. So, do you think that the sound that you heard, do you think it could have been like a dirt bike sound?
No, it was not the turnpikes.
Okay.
It was not. I'm telling you, this is not a known to me. It was not. The engines in there. I mean, I can tell tire track that spins on gravel. I mean, look, I'm really good with sounds, and I know this was not weed eater, lawnmower, mechanical car. This was not a dog yelp. This was not a coyote. This was not a cat. This was not a bear. This was not very wrong with it. So wrong that it stopped us mid sentence. All three of them. It's something that's rare and hard to do, and it clinched me around the insides. I don't know what it was. I would love one day to have an explanation for it. Does it mean that it was summer? No. Mean that it was summer? No, it doesn't.
Right. Yeah.
Um, but it damn sure was not the boys. So what else? What else does that leave? I don't know. But I do know that I have proven that you know, um, there's a reason why other neighbors would not hear, even while it's at the same time. I have proven, and that's by science. Okay, that's not by me just being like, oh, well, here's this thing. Science proves why sound carries the way it does in there, why the others not able to. Plus, I proved it otherwise, and then had others help record in the last days to show that it is quite possible. Things I'd like to do, but I'm not ready to go back in there and walk or
Mhm.
do certain access points. I'll probably never be given access to again. I don't really give a flying shit. Somebody else can deal with that. Hopefully, law enforcement will, you do so at some point. I don't know, but I just know that it was proven enough, and others have witnessed it, have proof of it, and you all look at these images of the hills and the driveways and these wooded areas, and the perspective from picture and video, even when in tragedy, and take these videos at the bottom of the driveways and things, and they tell you it's not possible. We don't think somebody could have, whatever. It's when you live in there and you know the terrain, all these other things, differently, and they can show it to you now with all the growth. Even within 2, 3 days of summer vanishing, the growth was entirely different than when she vanished. You could see clearly up there the days you could no longer see. But the perspective is all off when you view it outside of person. When you even go in there in person now, you're going to see grass and terrain and thickets and trees and things that did not exist June 15th. You
Right.
know, so the
Yeah.
perspective is still never going to be what it was on that June 15th.